We're coming off a very successful UFC Vegas 97, and I'm trying to roll that success into UFC 306. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my PrizePicks entry for Noche UFC. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and you can make an absolute ton of money. They will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, and you are off to the races. If you build yourself a nice little measly $5 entry, they will deposit $50, 50, into your account instantly that you can use to build even more entries. They're just doling out free money so that you can try their product. wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. I mentioned we were pretty successful last week at UFC Vegas 97. This week feels a little trickier, so I'm just going with a 2-entry power play. I actually did the same thing last week, then a fight drop, so I gave you another brand new entry, and both of them ended up hitting. This week, I've just got a 2-legger. 2 nice pieces that I think are going to cash out, but we'll walk through the entire slate anyway. If we start with significant strikes, there's not a lot that I love here. The surprising pick for me, though, is going to be less than Raul Rosas Jr. Raul Rosas Jr. has a very low line at 20.5 significant strikes. And even more shocking, he has never gotten past that number, ever. He has not gotten past 20.5 significant strikes. If I am on my website, wewantpicks.com, and I am looking at the prop hunter, we have a tool that is specifically designed to help you build fantasy entries and find prop bets just like this. And if I'm looking at Raul Rosas here, significant strikes landed per fight on average is 9.2. Per decision, 11. Dude lands no strikes. We're going less than 20.5 significant strikes. Another one that sticks out to me here that I don't quite know if I'm going to pull the trigger on, and I didn't earlier, but if I'm looking at it, we have Ignacio Bahamondes here at 41 significant strikes. If I look at the same set of data for him, he lands 84.43 strikes on average per fight and 84.67 on average per decision. So he doubles this number, more than doubles this number on average. You do have to factor in their opponents and some other pieces there. But maybe I'm just going to, guys, I'm trusting the data. We're going to add it. I'm trusting the data. This wasn't part of my initial original entry, but it will be here. If we continue to look through this slate, another one that is a bit intriguing here is the Diego Lopes. I like less than 50.5. I liked it when it was 49.5, and some people did more. And that went ahead and brought it up just 1 significant strike. The only thing that could work against me here is the fact that Brian Ortega is tough as shit. Brian Ortega is not a guy that you're just going to get out of there instantly. Maybe Diego does, but that's not typically how this goes. But if I look at Diego's body of work, even it was only really 1 decision there with Mosvar, and he was taken down a whole ton. Diego has never gotten past this number. Ever. He has never, ever, ever, as far as any data sets that we have, gotten past 50.5 significant strikes. Never, ever, ever, ever. If I look at his data set from the prop hunter on my website, 24.17 significant strikes landed on average, 35.33 in decisions. 50 is a much, much higher number than those. Much higher. So we're going to say the less. The rest of these I don't love. Alexa Grasso's number is perfect. Merab and Sean, there's so many different things. This could look like the Aljo fight and Sean just sparks him immediately. This could be Merab grappling his ass off and neither one of these numbers matter. Or it could be a drag him out war and Sean will get past this number. I do tend to think the less on Sean makes sense. Either he is held down for 25 minutes or he knocks Merab out. And either way, he won't get past that number. But we'll let that sit for now. If we go to fight minutes, another tricky slate. Ignacio Bahamondes, more than 7.5, probably is the play here. Ronaldo Rodriguez over Ode Osborne, we'll leave that alone. Merab Dvalishvili, do you think the main event goes to a decision or not? I'm going to leave that alone too. I mentioned Sean could step off, bang, knock him out, or just get dragged around for a little bit. Diego Lopez, this is Brian Ortega is nuts tough. But Diego Lopez has been going crazy. So we're going to leave that alone. And Raul Rosas Jr., he's another wild card. The dude is young. He just went to the second round of a fight that he won by submission. Before that, he knocked the dude out in 8 seconds. Before that, he went a full 15 minutes. We're just going to leave that alone. Fantasy score. What I like to do with fantasy score is I find somebody that I think is going to lose. And if I'm looking across this slate, there's not a ton of these people that I think are going to lose. Raul should win. Josh should win. Yazmin should win. I picked Ignacio, even though he's the dog. Irene Aldana, I think she could lose, but that's a razor-thin fight. Ronaldo Rodriguez, I think he could lose, but that's a close fight. Daniel Zellhuber, I do think he loses, but I'm going to leave that alone. Merab, Diego, Alexa, I don't love any of those fantasy scores. If you want to know how that works, they have their own scoring system. Significant strikes land points, takedowns get points, takedowns defended scores points. So if Sean O'Malley was the fantasy play here, his would make a lot of sense because you're going to get 3 points for every takedown he defends, and he might quite literally defend 25 takedowns. But he's not. They got Merab. And then finally, takedowns. And they only have Merab at 4.5, and I don't love that. Because again, this fight could go in any direction. Merab could get 5 takedowns, 1 per round, and Sean's just chilling. He can get 20. Or he can get 2 and then get knocked out. There's too many variables. That is too interesting of a fight. So we're going to leave that alone. And my original power play was the less on Raul, the less on Diego. We've added Ignacio, and I'm going to go back and let's just do it. We're going to add the less on Sean because with my logic, if Sean O'Malley knocks out Merab, he's not going to get there. If he loses this fight, he's going to get taken down and held down. He's not going to get there. If I look at the incredible data set at WeWantPicks.com, and we look at Sean O'Malley, significant strikes landed on average per fight is 76. But on average per decision is 129. This is a different type of decision. Obviously, the data is wildly important, but the data is also, you need context. And the context here is if this goes to a decision, it's not going to be Sean lighting him up, staying on his feet. If Sean's lighting him up, he's putting him away. If it goes to a decision, it's because Merab got 1 million takedowns. So we're going to squeeze the less on Sean in here. Again, guys, I always do the flex play. This is a wild sport and anything can happen. So I am going to add the insurance. And if you're going to build multiple entries, let's lock this one in. And then let me show you the entry I already built, the 2-legger. I think the 2-leg is far safer than what I just built. Here's the 2 power play. The less on Raul Rosas, the less on Diego. That's obviously safer than adding Ignacio and adding Sean O'Malley. This is my entry. If you love it, great. Go ahead and tail. If you don't, that's fine too. The most important thing here is get your free money. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks, promo code WWP.